morning and welcome to the social listening segment on Business Day Television. I'm Deborah Ezeh and I'm right here with Valentine, Onyeka.
Most definitely. Always present.
I wanted to say good morning again.
Well,
because the amount of good mornings that we actually feed our viewers.
I think it's about time to say good morning always. Do you know why?
Yeah.
The trajectory that we are going in our wonderful nation needs, to keep, constantly checking on each other. Say, how you doing? Good morning. How you doing? Good morning?
All right, that simply means I'm going to tell our viewers good morning 4 times on the breakfast show. That is really nice. Anyways, talking about the trajectory our nation is going. Our first story is a major cybersecurity scare involving 2 Nigeria's biggest business figures, Aliko Dangote and Femi Otedola. Reports say hackers broke into their mobile phones within the past week. Otedola's phone was accessed once, but Dangote reportedly had 2 breaches in 2 days. It's not clear if they fully regained control of the devices, but what we do know is that the attackers are asking for money, though the exact amount hasn't been revealed. This incident has raised fresh concerns about cyber attacks on high net worth individuals, especially those with sensitive financial and corporate information. I know that Valentine has a lot to say because his best man is actually in the news, but let's take a look at what the tweets, what the netizens are saying concerning this. And the 4th tweet is from Johan, and he said, "You have the skills to hack into people's devices, but you choose to work illegally." Another tweet from Miss Nova, and it says, "Funny, but it's just 2% of the wealth they can access, and the billionaires will still remain billionaires." Another tweet from Olushino Olaiwola said, "Wake up call for them. Having stupendous money makes one also targets of treasure hunters. They need to upgrade their personal security by employing digital security experts." And finally from Lai No Sabi, and it said, "This should worry everyone. If top industrialists aren't safe from digital breaches, Nigeria urgently needs stronger cybersecurity standards."
Absolutely.
What do you think about this?
So like they say, the bigger you are, the larger, or rather, the easier it is for you to get burnt. Okay. Because the bigger you are, if you're going to fall, you fall faster. In this case, having said so, let us draw, give you some level of similarity to what's going on with the world. And this cuts across board. It's not peculiar to only Nigeria. Because some other people around the world are not talking about other billionaires around the world. When I say billions, I mean billionaires in dollars around the world. I'm not talking about their own security breach. Doesn't mean they don't have it. But where I want to come from with this story is this. It goes to show the lacuna that there is in our telecom system. You see, when you are a billionaire in dollars, it means that for what is worth, your security network and your cyber security must be top notch. Because your phone nowadays, in fact, not nowadays, your phone actually is the access to the world. Your phone can either make you be broke in a second or make you a billionaire in God knows when. So I think if hackers found their way into the phones of Nigeria's, one of Nigeria's, if not, what am I saying? 2 Nigeria's billionaires, right? They didn't act alone. Now, I don't want to call which network provider that they use, but they didn't act alone. Think about it. Why target those 2 billionaires who are actually friends? You can't tell me that they both went for a party and left their phones for their phones to be vulnerable.
Well, you just said that these are things that actually happen to even billionaires across the world.
But not the type where you have. These are 2 close friends. Okay. These are 2 close friends that Nigerians know very well. Look, they're like, I don't want to use the word, let me just put it this way. Wherever you see Dangote, you will definitely see, Otedola. These are 2 good friends. So unless you tell me that they went for a party, right, and they kept their phones carelessly, right, and then someone hacked into it.
Yeah, it's possible. There are tons of people who do this for fun. Funny enough, hackers, we both know they do it for fun.
Right.
It's not necessarily the money. It's just a skill that they have, and it's a dare for them. So I think that's just what it is.
So again, it's good enough we can now say it is what it is. But again, it's alleged. We don't know what form they came from. We don't know how they were able to penetrate it. But it's a big scare because if they can do that to billionaires, what happens to you and I?
Valentine, you should write a book because you have so many propaganda theory.
But it's not propaganda.
You should write. You see the way you just made it about their network provider.
But let's be honest. Look at it. So me being trying to be objective means we must. That's how we're trained. You must look at every angle that possibility could find its way to become an actual fact, and use that to begin to analyze from different angles. I just came from the angle of the telecoms. Now, let's not look at the area of, like I said, they go for a party or something, and they drop the phone. Or let's even look at the angle of you saying, are they in some WhatsApp group, and then whoever it is that is
the same WhatsApp group with them.
You can never tell. Who could be there? Maybe the administrator or whatever of the WhatsApp group decides to do something. We don't know what it is.
So,
but one thing for sure is this. If you're a billionaire and you're watching this, I hope you're watching so you can come and sponsor, by the way. If you're a billionaire, right, and you count your billions, in foreign currency, or maybe even gold, or maybe you own a refinery, or you own, an oil well, or whatever it is that makes it.
Are you speaking to someone in particular?
I'm speaking hypothetically right now, right? So whichever it is that makes you a billionaire, and you are basking in the billionaireship, I think at some point, right, at that level, you should have a number that is not routed through the regular, telecom service.
I think that is what it is. Because the way it is, they're not really making a fuss about it. I think it's just one of their phones. That's what I think it is. But people's phones actually get breached into most of the time. Most celebrities, their phones actually get breached into, hacked into. So I think the fuss here is just that, it's Dangote, it's Otedola. It's not like so what makes it different? He has a phone.
Do you know
he has access to technology? So it simply means you're vulnerable.
Right. So let's look at the economic damage that can cause. I will explain very quickly in less than a minute. My time starts now. Imagine where you have someone who actually can move the lives of over 1 or 2 million people that probably work for him. What this means is that if hackers hack into that phone, they can simply send, alerts to all those numbers. Or they can change the code of something that can make the banks not work.
Wait. So if you become a billionaire today, you would leave the monies that people depend on your phone.
I wouldn't do that.
You cannot be a billionaire.
But I wouldn't do that. But again, if you look at it, there's some certain passwords and passcodes that are look above both our pay grades that we cannot begin to fathom, let alone understand.
I doubt that phone.
However, there are some intricate information. You'll be shocked. I'm not even shocked that he has numbers of presidents. So imagine someone hacks that phone and they send a death threat to a president where you know that in that country he has investment. Do you know what I mean?
You're going too far. Okay.
So there's an economic angle there.
Yeah.
Imagine such text message goes to that particular world leader. And world leader says, what is this?
Calling for war.
Before even
war talking
to Dangote or talking to Otedola, simply just says, I want to shut down their business in that country. Do you know the amount of people who will lose their job?
Okay, I think we are going to find this because as a billionaire, if I were to become a billionaire today, I'm not going to leave my money in a mobile phone. It's not possible.
Yes, but
I'm not going to leave access to my money there.
But the fact that a message can be sent from that phone to a world leader is very possible.
It could be a random. See, it could be. I'm sure you want to call it billionaire.
Right.
All right, let's move to our second story, which is the deepening crisis inside the People's Democratic Party. A faction backed by FCT Minister Nyesom Wike announced the expulsion of governors Seyi Makinde, Bala Muhammad, and Dauda Lawal. They also expelled Senator Adolphus Wabara and Chief Body George. The faction operating from the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja accused the expelled leaders of anti-party activities and ignoring court rulings. They even dissolved state executive councils in several states and announced that caretaker committees will take over. But this fight is far from one-sided. The Makinde-backed faction held a convention in Ibadan where they expelled Wike, Ayo Fayose, and others. Things escalated yesterday when both sides tried to hold a power meeting at the National Secretariat, forcing security agencies to step in. The question now is, who truly leads the PDP? Because both sides are claiming legitimacy. Now let's take a look at what netizens are saying concerning this story. And the first reaction from Opeyemi Timothy said, what is happening to PDP could have been forestalled upon the pronouncement of the Supreme Court ruling sustaining Tinubu's victory. The G5 and those that did a glaring anti-party activities should have been suspended or expelled. Wike, Otto, Fayose and Makinde should have gone. Another reaction from Big Bash. He said, how PDP fell from being the biggest political party in Africa to this mirage is a mystery. I hope APC is watching because pride goes before a fall. And another reaction for Faisal King, and he said, today's event at the PDP headquarters typifies the state the PDP is in, and I truly believe it's the nemesis of its bad leadership during its 16-year rule of this country. Having said that, the APC should wait for its turn, and it's going to be worse. And finally, Elder of Wisdom said, where are the other governors? Haba, this is descending too low for a party that once paraded itself as ruling party. Everybody in that party should go back to a round table and stop washing their dirty linen in public.
Talking about the public. First and foremost, once you're a politician in this country, politics in this country has no business.
See what they did yesterday. It is what normal thugs will do. That's what I was saying this morning. These are old men. You can easily sit down and squash your differences over, it could be over a bottle or over, I don't know, over raising your voice over the table, but not having to call security thugs to start pushing yourself. And okay, look at this. Makinde, when he had his rally in Ibadan, he suspended Wike and other people. And then when Wike came back to Abuja, he just suspended Makinde and the others. Come on now.
So, again, you must have a third eye to be able to see what's really going on.
Fortunately, I have just two.
Most people just have two. The third eye is where the wisdom and intelligence comes in. And I tell you for a fact, even those who are very smart and very, 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 in tune with what's going on and can read in between the lines, yet don't know how to do wisdom. I can tell you for a fact that when they say divide and rule, this does not apply to, a nation as a whole during colonialism. It also applies to the fact that, look, in recent times, you can see parties experiencing that. What makes you think there's no influence, is this word, that there is no sense, or better still, no evidence of external force in that party?
Right.
There are many ways to skin a rat, like they say, right? That if you truly want to get something done, okay, you can afford to create turmoil and create confusion in your opposition's camp and leave it there while they're busy fighting amongst themselves. Other things are happening. See, I'm not calling any party here, so nobody now get to quote me wrongly and I say, oh, Valentine said that. But you can read in between the lines. Like I said, it is only those who have a third eye can be able to play this game of politics. Unfortunately, me, I'm not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. But as a journalist, the question that I'm going to be asking questions. The question I'll be asking each of the parties is that, look, which state do you have in the other opposition's party, right? Where do you go and hang out when you're not having your so-called party conference and everything, right? Who do you have in your speed dial on your phone? Because truth be told, it is good to have the speed dial. You can actually tell who is a mole in whose party. Because when you now see a party as huge as PDP, right, having two factions, I need the plan for towards 2027. What does that tell you? It tells you that politicians are willing to go to any length to make sure that he who will stay there will stay there.
Well, I think this with the PDP, I agree with the first tweets. They actually said this was actually forestalled. The whole propaganda that happened, the 2023 election, that was the eye-opening for PDP. We had the likes of Wike, Autumn, and Makinde supporting the opposition.
There you go.
Exactly, supporting the opposition, and they saw it as normal. They saw it as, okay, yeah, you can do that. We are one. Despite the fact that, we have like a separate party. That was the beginning of their problem. Because why would you be in your party and then you're supporting another party openly?
Right.
So if they had actually squashed it from that moment, it won't get to the point where party members are actually expelling and suspending themselves.
Of course, I know that by now. Those who are watching understand the nitty-gritties of politicians and what gets to gas them up.
Of course.
The idea of pride is so embedded in the idea.
But it doesn't make it right. It doesn't. That's not even politics. You actually shaking hands with your enemy. That's not how it's done. I'm going to be, it's going to be my enemy. Well, defend to my enemy is my friend. It's going to be that, but not to disrespect the party. That's disrespect. You're busy shaking hands with the devil in broad daylight. And then you say, okay, all is well. So this is even happening. I am glad for one, because you cannot dine with the devil and then expect to not have a running stomach. I'm learning from you anyways. So for me, they would have put an end to this during the 2023 election. But no, they decided to sit it out. So this confusion that is happening really serves them right. Yeah.
So it's good that we can actually now see this thing from different angles and piece it up together. It's like playing a game of chess, right? Look, in playing a game of chess, you want to let go your pawns first so that they can fall prey and create an opening so that the queen can come and then clear everybody. It's the same that is happening in this matter. Look, whether or not we like it, the idea of create chaos, act as if we are all in tune with it. At the end of the day, these same people who have now divided the house, you have the wicked faction, you have this other faction. I can tell you for a fact, when the lights are down and the cameras are not there, and then you think they don't go and find something, go and relax and chill out and talk about what has happened?
And if that is what it is,
I can tell you, understand again. Now look, in the game of politics, I said it before, no permanent friend, no permanent enemy, only permanent interest. Have you forgotten? It's not the same weekend.
So what is the interest?
It's not the same weekend. It's not the same weekend who is now the FCT minister that was appointed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president. It's not the same weekend that, welcomed Tinubu's entourage during election to River State, and he openly asked them there in Government House. And this was his words. He said, I want to understand something. Are people trying to truncate this election? Because some things never heard before. PDP. He said all those things. The records are there. At the end of the day, when Tinubu now won, guess what? Who became the FCT minister?
It's Wike.
So it goes to show you, right? We're even going too far. Let's even come a bit further, closer to our present time. It is the same Wike that we saw having issues with Fubara, back and forth. All the supporters, those who supported Fubara, those who supported Wike, back and forth, livelihoods were put on hold, right? We saw all the hulu baloo, like they said. At the end of the day, did you see them shake hands? So, you see, this is not unique to Nigeria. Neither is it unique to some other part of the world. Even the most advanced country, right? You see them today, they're like cat and mouse. Tomorrow they become what? Best friends in the same plate. But I can assure you for a fact, any person who is sensible, who is smart, and has serious fracas with, a so-called party member, they know where to draw the line.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Mark my words, that they will sit around the same table deliberating on how to become
leaders. They should sit around, because yesterday was the height of embarrassment for that party. Anyways, let's move away from politics and travel down to Tanzania, where President Samia Suluhu made headlines after appointing her daughter and her son-in-law to ministerial positions. Her daughter, Wanu Afida Amia, was named Deputy Minister for Education, Science and Technology, while her son-in-law, Mohammed, became Minister for Health. Both are members of the ruling CCM party and already serving lawmakers, but their appointments have sparked conversation about nepotism. Let's take a look at what netizens are saying about this. Now, the first reaction from Okpeyemi Timothy, and he said, African leaders are often treat the countries they rule like as their personal family
Family
business.
business.
That's why they frequently position their children and relatives in key roles, ensuring the legacy continues. For them, governance is not just service, it's inheritance, a family enterprise that must carry on. Another reaction from Salum Gideon, and he said, "This is insults to the people of Tanzania, and they continue to provoke people. Selfish at its best." And Call Me Your Lord says, "That alone doesn't justify anything. The lady is educated with good leadership background. What is wrong with that?"
So
Another reaction, final reaction from Ella Lemis. "The whole parliament is filled with family business. People are family business people, and expect that these Gen Zs to sit and eat their crumbs while their families are nourishing. CCM is filled with hypocrite."
So the third person who commented there,
That she's actually educated,
yes,
and
that
that's
drew my
really,
attention.
yeah.
And then, again, the way and manner the public will react to any story, come what story it is, right, should be different from the way we broadcasters will talk about it.
Yeah.
We will always strike the chord at the middle. And the striking in the middle is very, very clear. Look, let's ask these questions and ask them objectively. Is she an educated woman?
Yeah, she is.
Now, let us keep sentiment aside. If she has a clean track record, if the other guy too also is educated enough, and they seem to be people who can actually be reasoned with to move those sectors forward. I think, and this is not me, I'm not Tanzanian, I'm not from that country, but the way the way the story goes, right, she appointed them for a reason. They must, right, have some particular skill or specific skill that will help those particular areas. Maybe, for what it's worth, some level of, oh, I know this person comes in and he gives the post. It's a ministerial post. But has she merited it? Has he merited it? If they have, good and fine. It's not the first time we'll see people appointing their family members into positions where they can make change. However, it's also not the first time where we see political appointees ending up being a tragedy and plunge the whole country into some serious anarchy, and people now think it's a family business. So it's neither here or there. But at the end of the day, will the country be able to record great progress? Will the country be able to say, look, they move forward? Let's not even talk too far so we don't sound like a bunch of hypocrites. It is the same Nigeria also, where we have, back in the past, where some key leaders have put in their family members there too to preside over things. It happens like that around the world. But should we now say, let's wait and watch and see if truly they are deserving of that post? Give them some time. Let's not be quick to judge now.
Okay, so
because yes,
if you've been following the news, especially with Tanzania, you will know that Samia Suluhu has been doing the most. She has been doing the most. See, she has even been doing more than the men that, that we put out there have been doing. So I think the issue now is the fact that in the political party, I think CCM, the political party, it's now more of family members. That is why the issue of nepotism is actually arising. It's now more of family members having to, be in the party rather than people who really merit it, people who really understand what they're actually, doing. So I think that's where the outrage is coming from. And when something like that actually happens, people don't care if your child is actually fit for that position, because we now don't just have your daughter, we have your son-in-law, we have an uncle from somewhere, we have a brother from somewhere.
That's too much.
Yeah, so now it's nothing about whether or not she merited it. It's now about why is it your family that is actually there, and away from all the laws, the outrageous harsh laws that she has been bringing. It's now like too much for the citizen of Tanzania. So like you mentioned, when Tinubu actually, became president, people were like, oh, he's going to make Sheyi Tinubu, he's going to give him one ministerial post and all of that. I think one of the reasons why Sheyi is not seated there is because of the outrage that actually came out. People they were not going to have it. Like, oh, if you're going to sit there, you're not going to put your child there, because this is not
conflict of interest.
Exactly. So I think with everything that is going on, she actually putting her daughter there and her son-in-law. She's just trying to let them know that I'm a dictator. Whatever it is that I say goes, which is how she has been treating that country since she actually,
have
became
been
president.
recording success so far?
Success. I think it's still very early to actually record success.
Why am I telling you this? Is that Africa is a unique continent, and believe it or not, this might sound very strange or sound very, unprofessional, but sometimes you have to be able to, approach these things with the carrot and stick approach. We live in a very unique continent where the laws and antics and tricks of the Westerns might not really work for us.
Yeah.
Okay? You want to judge some certain countries who have had democratic rule for a long time, and the way the progress has been so deterrent, so slow compared to
Tanzania is actually very slow, like I said.
So I'll give you a good example now. See Burkina Faso, for instance. Now, I'm not rooting for any military takeover in any country, but quick decision making matters. Yes, will this create room for people to drag in the idea of nepotism? Maybe.
Which is actually what's happening in Burkina Faso now. He wants to put a rule where he has to come back and be there for 8 years.
Is it delivery?
That. Anyways,
we are at that point now. If you're delivering, right? Let me tell you honestly, if we get someone who can deliver in Africa's most populous nation and deliver very well, I tell you, even if the person is there for 10, 20 years, nobody wants to complain because the country will move
I need you
forward.
to hold your thoughts there because we're running out of time.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, and that is it on social listening. We looked at the cyber attack on Dangote and Otedola, the escalating PDP power struggle, and the cabinet's reshuffling, stirring reaction in Tanzania. My name is Deborah Ezeh, and I didn't do this alone. I did it with
yours truly, Onyeka Valentine.
All right, join us again on Business Day Television, same time tomorrow. Have yourself a wonderful day.